Today, we will come to an extreme horror story. It happened during a camping trip between me and my two best friends, Aiko and Akira. The day we went camping was also the occasion for Aiko and Akira to celebrate their first anniversary of dating. We chose a small mountain village to experience. The three of us quickly entered the village. Because it was deserted countryside, there was no accommodation service here. That made it difficult for us to find accommodation. How lucky we were. We asked around in the village and were introduced to a wooden house located at the end of the road. We looked at the gate outside, feeling this house was quite good so that we could stay for a few days and get to experience life here. After observing for a while, we decided to go inside and have a look. Either way, we had no other choice. Akira and Aiko went in first, and I stood behind to take a souvenir photo. Inside this house was a large courtyard. If this place was a hotel in the city, even it should be enough to park a car. After a while, from inside the house, an older woman stooped to meet us. She looked old but still quite lucid. She said that there were many empty rooms here. She looked cold and mysterious but acted extremely kind. She quickly opened the door and invited us in to take a look at the room. The first room she took us into was a large bedroom. Inside was a bed big enough for all three. We were very pleased with this room. But seeing Akira and Aiko's intimate gesture, the older woman immediately asked us to stay in two different rooms so that the couple could have their own space. At first, we refused because we were afraid of the cost. But when we heard that she would reduce the price, Akira and Aiko immediately agreed. So the landlady took me to the next room. This room seemed smaller compared to Akira and Aiko's, but if I was alone, it was great. That evening, we changed clothes and went to walk around this village for a bit. Then we found a local eatery on the side of the road. Seeing that the restaurant was also small, we invited each other to eat there. We ordered a local rice table. The hostess happily welcomed, brought all the hot and fragrant dishes out. Judging by our attitude, she also partly guessed that we were tourists from far away. So the owner of the restaurant not only invited us to add a special dish, but also asked us where we were renting and if we had found a satisfactory place to rest. I was honest and told her that we rented a room in the old house at the end of the street. The owner was an older woman. After listening, the owner of the restaurant was very surprised and panicked. She looked at us. Her attitude slightly changed. That made it very difficult for newcomers like us to understand. I asked her what was wrong with that house, but the owner of the restaurant was very hesitant. She said nothing more, only told us to move out of that strange and dangerous house quickly. After that, she went straight to the counter without saying anything to us. That surprised the three of us even more. After eating, we took each other back home. The house was still very normal, and there was nothing dangerous, as the owner of the restaurant told us earlier. We walked inside without any warning, happily greeted each other, and then went back to our rooms. Aiko and Akira also returned to their rooms. That night, alone in my room, I kept tossing and turning, unable to sleep. In the middle of the night, my stomach suddenly twisted in pain. I didn't know the reason why. I quickly sat up, agonizingly clutching my stomach, and walked out the door. I was about to run over to Aiko and Akira's room to get medicine for my stomach ache, but the pain made it impossible for me to walk. I went straight to the toilet, gnawing on my loneliness in the quiet night. After dealing with my trouble, I went straight to my room. On the way, I passed the landlady's room. Seeing that the house owner's room light was still on, I suddenly remembered the story of the restaurant owner. I stopped curiously, looked inside to see what this older woman was doing. But the scene in the room aroused suspicion in me. I leaned back, trying to regain my composure. After that, I decided that I would follow this mysterious older woman's movements to see what she wanted to do. I saw her standing in the room, hands clasped in front of the altar, muttering a few words as if she were talking to her 2 children. I tried to look closely at the characters on the altar image, feeling more and more goosebumps with the magic action this older woman was performing. I discovered on the altar the remains of her 2 children. They looked quite young and very happy. Then she picked up the 2 dolls on the table, her murderous eyes looking at them as if they were plotting something. The older woman then cast some strange spells that I didn't understand, and then climbed onto a stool. She threw a short rope on the ceiling pole. At first, I thought she was about to commit suicide. But it wasn't that the length of the rope wasn't enough for her to hang herself. Then she let out a devilish laugh and picked up the 2 dolls. Her mouth was constantly demanding revenge for her daughter and son-in-law. The most frightening thing was that this older woman hung 2 dolls at the end of the rope as if she was trying to kill someone. Then she let the 2 dolls float in the air under the ends of 2 ropes. I witnessed the strange sight and actions of this woman and suddenly shivered a little. I thought this older woman was just a weird, crazy woman. Seeing that it was not my business, I went straight to my room to sleep again, not paying any attention anymore. As I walked, I reassured myself to forget the horror story of the older woman. In other words, I wanted to stop obsessing over what I just witnessed. Her cruel words kept ringing in my head. The image of her 2 children suddenly appeared in my mind, making me realize something quite important. A bad premonition suddenly appeared in my mind about the safety of my 2 friends. I hurriedly ran to Aiko and Akira's room to have a look. At first, I stood outside the door to call, but no one answered. Unsure, I pushed open the door and rushed inside. When I entered the place, a horrifying scene happened before my eyes. I saw Aiko and Akira hanging in the room, their pale bodies looking like the 2 other dolls. Fast as lightning, I hurriedly brought my 2 friends to the ground. After that, I performed CPR on them. Their bodies were still warm, but their breathing was very weak. Fortunately, a few minutes later, 2 of my friends were also breathing, and I quickly alerted the police. The local police quickly arrived at this house to take statements. 2 of my friends were too scared to tell the police anything. As for me, I recounted what I saw the older woman doing in the room. The older woman was also arrested soon after and taken directly to the police station. The following morning, we were booked by the police for 3 bus tickets back to the city. Sitting in the car, I felt the tension. Aiko and Akira must be panicking. They said that last night, while they were sleeping, suddenly they heard someone calling their names by the bed. At that time, both of them tried to listen carefully, and it was clear that it was a man's and a woman's voice. They blamed Aiko and Akira for daring to be happy in their bedroom. After hearing that, they were startled to wake up, seeing 2 ghosts standing at the bed staring at them with hateful eyes. The two of them also had a soft and devilish smile. After a while, for some unknown reason, Aiko and Akira were hypnotized, then took the rope and threw it up to the ceiling to hang themselves. After a while, the two ghosts suddenly disappeared, and the room was filled with horror laughter. I was surprised to hear Akira tell the story. His face still couldn't hide the fear. It was not until later that I learned that the older woman's two children had hanged themselves in their room when they were the same age as us. That made her unable to accept that other people were happy. So she did so.